The amazing videos coming through right here on the Gospel Cruise. Feel free to get in touch with us on social media. And like I said earlier, whatever prayer requests you do have, tell us. Even if there's someone you've been eyeing and you need God's help to pull through, don't be shy. Get it, tell us. We'll pray for you. We have youth pastors that stand in the gap for you and make sure that you don't have to go through what you go through alone. We've had youths come through telling us they're addicted to stuff. They're addicted to blessers, some of them, and they need help to make sure that they get to a level where they can be independent and trust God with any material things that they may need. And they receive counseling. They receive help. So do the same and get in touch via social media. Now, there's a song that you guys have been requesting for. That's Martha Nanaka. So you know what? Instead of playing it, we decided, let's just bring her into the studio. Martha, how are you doing?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
I'm fantastic. Your song is doing well on Gospel Cruise.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm amazed.
And I know some people will be saying, no, but I heard it's Mampy who did that song.
Okay.
Let's just get a snippet of the chorus, just to prove to them that it's you.
Okay. Nanaka yawe ukwesha kwena naesha tapali echonsha chita tata amakufi andi yanenuka kumutima kwandi kwauma ngensebula ile kabila amishi akamana kandi nakoma isubiro lyandi nalipwa kumakayandi yawe tetinjiminine. I need your grace to stand. I need your grace to stand. Mwenkwela yandi, mwechuwo chandi nimwe.
Awesome, awesome stuff. Awesome. You've got a powerful voice. So is it just me who's heard people talk like that, or you've also heard people say, tenzona monga ni ya Mampy nyimbo?
Actually, I've heard about that. I remember the time I went to the Copper Belt. That was last year in July. When people heard the honor of the song is coming and all that, I visited a certain church, Church of God, in Chimwemwe, Kitwe, yeah. And so when I went there, people were so shocked because I believe they expected Mampy to be there. But then they found that it was me. And they started wondering what is happening because you're not the owner of the song and all that. And I was like, I'm the owner of the song. Then they said, okay, prove to us. And that time it was good I had CDs. And so some of them bought CDs and everything. And they were like, we've been hearing the song and our conclusion was, it's Mampy's song. Because your voice sounds a little bit similar to Mampy's voice. Yes. And so I was like, I doubt if my voice can ever sound like Mampy's because we are different people. And they were like, no, this is what we thought. And a lot of people in the Copper Belt, in all parts of the Copper Belt, they say it's Mampy's song. And so I was very shocked, at least if they had maybe said, maybe it's Karen's, not really that we have the same voices, but at least we are in the same,
Like it's purely a gospel song.
And so I was very shocked. Let me say, I was not just shocked, but I was a little bit disappointed because I started wondering, does the song sound, to be secular and all that? But then they were like, no, it's not that it sounds like a secular song, but your voice. You've got a big voice like Mampy's song and Mampy's voice and all that. And that's when I had to do some ministration in the church and everything. And I had to at least make a few people believe it's not Mampy's song.
All right. I'm glad that we've cleared that because even here on Gospel Cruise, we've had people inbox us and ask us. In fact, some people were saying, no, we heard she stole the song. No, we heard this other person stole. But I'm glad that it's clear now. So you know what? After that has been said, before we get to know her a bit more, let's get to that video, Martha Nanaka.
Kwesa kwena naesha tapali echonsha chita tata amakufi yandi yanenuka kumutima kwandi kwauma Lensehula, Ilekadila, Ambeshi. Akamanya kanti na koma, Isulilo yanti na lipa, Umakayanti yawe, Tetinjiminine. I need your grace to stand. I need your grace to stand. Mwekwe laranti, mwetu ochandi. I have regrets so many mistakes in the past that I'm not proud of. Kofintu ifyakale lesangani pelele ko chansi iya kusala ifyakupitamo gansha salile ifi iyo vimbi fintutu itwala mofe vimbi na fiole sala tusalila ukukosha imye oshesu fabana wakwe preparing us for the future. Little teaching to Chayangoka, but all the same, I thank my God for this testimony. But tonight, now, what you want, I'm a warrior, you mumine. Elo chintu chansoni, nom sevanya. Nanaka uko sonte inwe, bafana chita kunuma. Ichichi swevere, ichakusekwa, yawe chanasha. Nanaka, yawe, ukwesa kwena nae. Wesa nijisa, eto sachita, ama kufiani, kumutima kwandi, lensehu, lekari, ambeshi. I remember the woman caught in the very act of adultery. Jesus said the first one to stone her should be sinless, but he won't say because they were all guilty, guilty of sin. Manje chini da bwisa wantu kukamba pavena shida kudala atate ni funseko indani alibechimo paziko for them to concentrate on other people's mistakes. Iyawe na batula kulimwe yawe. When choosing me, he was alone. Ngani kunikana nkaneka. You have no right to talk against what God has done. Now kwale sawe bali kundanshi, condemning other people. I believe there's no condemnation in Christ. Anani doba, nani suka, na kuninyamula. I'm now a star, a great woman of God. Mulungu wanikonda sangani siye, apasenza bwela kumbuyo, forever, backwards never. Nanaka yawe, ukwesha kwena naesha, tapali mshachita, ama kufianti, umutima kwandi kwa umutima kwandi kwa
Very touching song over there, talking about how sometimes we get tired and we need God to pull us through. I can't help but think that there's a lot of your personal issues in that song.
Yeah.
Take us to places where you felt like that.
I'm a child that was born outside marriage. My parents have never been married, but they had me anyway. Yeah, then I grew up with my stepmom and step-siblings and with my biological dad. It wasn't easy because every child wants the warmth of their biological parents every time. My dad took me when I was 1 year, 6 months. And it wasn't easy because a lot had happened. I really needed my mom at that time, but then she was not there. Then years later, as I was growing, in the house where I was, my family would call me a witch. They would tell me I'm a witch and my mother is a witch. She had charmed my father into loving her and all that, you know. My mom was not there. But then I had to receive all these insults on her behalf. And as a child, it wasn't easy because I never committed that mistake. I admit my mom had made a mistake. But then I had to pay for her mistakes, you know, as I was growing. I grew up very bitter, in so much anger, because I had a lot of questions to ask my mom why she left me in the hands of other people when she was still alive. And so I grew up to hate my mom and to hate my family very much because of the names they were calling me. And years later, as I was growing, I loved God so much, but years later, as I was growing, I attended a church service one day. That was in 2007 after school. I attended a Bible study service at church. And in that service, I don't know what happened. In that service, my bishop, my spiritual father, by then, is even late. He announced in the church to say, Martha is a Satanist and she has been abolished from entering this church. And if she ever tries to enter this church, she'll just drop dead. That time I was 14.
And the church was packed.
The church was packed. I had my schoolmates, my classmates, my neighbors in the service. And they just picked me like, you know, the way they picked Jesus throwing him out of Nazareth. That's how they picked me, you know, with so much force. I was young. I was 14 years at that time. And they had to throw me out of the church. And they closed the gates. I had to beg and say, I didn't know what was happening. And it was so painful. I lived a life of shame. And when I went home, like days later, whenever I would go to school at home, no one wanted me near because it's a man of God that has announced that
Did he explain how he knew you were involved in such?
He told me to say, he told the church to say I had an assignment to kill him. But I was not aware. Till now, I don't know if it's true or not. Yeah. And so he told the church to say I had an assignment to kill him. I was on a mission. But I've been in that church for years. I grew up from the Sunday school, joined the praise team, and that time, that day he announced to say I had a mission to kill him, and they had to throw me out of the church, the pastors, the leadership, and all that. And so the community rejected me because the man of God has announced to say she's an evil child, and no one could accept me. My family was scared of me. I could not eat with anyone. I could not sleep in the same room with anyone because everyone was afraid being around me. Schools rejected me in Kabwe. They asked me to live in every school I would go. They would never accept me. If they accept me without knowing my story, at the end of the day, they will have to throw me out. My friends would not eat with me. I had no friends. Everyone ran away because their parents told them, she's an evil person, don't get close to her. I lived a very lonely life. I lived a life of being in a dark corner for many years. And so after a lot of years of enduring, I had to move out of Kabwe and went to Eastern Province because I needed a new place where I can start a new life. And no family member wanted to accept me in their house. Until after so much, you know, prayer, I cried to God that year. I think that was in 2011. I went to the mountain in May, and I had to spend days there. And I asked God, I need a place to go to because I need to start a new life. And a few days later, my brother called and said, okay, you can come and stay here and all that. I went there, stayed with him for some years, completed my grade 12, and I had to come back. And that time, I had to write my other song, Natote Labayawe. Then from there, I came back to Kabwe because my brother would say I was a burden to him. And so I should, you know, find somewhere else to stay, and I had to come back to Kabwe. And so when I came back to Kabwe, I thought life would get back to normal because I've been away for years, and then maybe people have forgotten about everything and all that. But then my other brother's wedding came along, was on the lineup. I danced, rejoiced, because I was happy my brother was getting married. Then 2 months later, my brother called me and the other family members. I remember there was my other brother, him, and my dad and myself. Then he said, I brought you all together because I wanted you people to know that the time Martha was dancing on my wedding lineup, she was used by the devil to steal my wife's womb to use for rituals. It was so shocking because I loved my brother, and every day I would pray for the success of his wedding. And then he comes after 2 months to say his wife cannot conceive because I was responsible. It was so painful because life was taking me back to the past.
How it was when you're being rejected from church and all
yeah.
that.
And so later on, I didn't know how to handle the situation because it was so hard on me. And then later on, a few days, I think almost a month later after the accusation, I had no choice, but I lost hope. I didn't know I had a future, a destiny. Everything, I felt like everything was gone, everything was dead in me. And so I attempted suicide. After attempting suicide, I was taken to Cabo General Hospital, and by the grace of God, I survived. After surviving, a few days later, I had to go back to the Eastern Province because my older brother called me back to say, okay, come back. The time I was going back there, my sister-in-law heard I was going back to their place. She packed her things and said, my marriage is over because I cannot accept a witch back in my house. I went there very guilty, feeling like I was, destroying people's marriages and relationships. Like it was my fault. Then later on, she came back, we continued living together. That's when I recorded my song, Nanaka. I said, Mwelesa Nanaka, I think I've tried my level best to love you, to save you, but then every time my life keeps going back to my past. And so that's when I came back to write this song, Nanaka. And so my encouragement to everyone is, God can never fail anyone. You might have lost hope and you might think, everything is gone because of what you're going through. But the Bible says when Joseph was thrown in the pit, he still had that vision to say, these people are going to bow to me one day. When he was sold and then he went to the prison after the accusations and everything, but then he never lost hope to say, my dream is gone. He felt pain, but then he never let go of Jesus Christ. So whatever you're going through, it is just a stepping stone for you to go to another level. When God has called you, he will make sure you go through a lot so that you are strengthened. So that even when he drops that big destiny upon your life, you handle it with so much maturity. True. And so God prepares you in advance because of the people that you are going to meet. You might have faced a lot of disappointments, betrayals, and heartaches. God is just preparing you because there's a certain kind of people you're going to meet. And so if he does not teach you now, you will not have anything to teach those people. And so God is making you go through a lot of difficulties now, not because he's not with you. He says, even in the water, I shall go with you. I shall be with you. You shall not drown. Even in the fire, not even one of your hairs will be scorched. Why? Because my presence is there to protect you. It's there to give you hope. It's there to give you strength. So whatever you're going through, my brother, my sister, daddy, mommy, wherever you are, and you're going through a lot of stuff in your life, never lose hope, because Jesus Christ is the bishop of your soul. And so don't lose hope. God is still there and he's still God on this one.
Amen. I'm seeing a young female preacher here. That's really powerful. I mean, you couldn't have summarized the whole show in a better way. And I love the fact that through that rejection that you've gone through, you've been able to embrace the acceptance of God's love, to say, you know what, despite what I've been through, I'm tired, but God is my strength and is my hope. Yeah, I love that. So keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you.
On Gospel Cruise, we'll keep celebrating you. What's your love message to the people of Kabwe? I know you've been through a lot in that place, but what's your love message in a nutshell?
My love message is, no matter what has happened in the past between you and me because of what I was going through, I still love you. You're still my brethren. You're still, especially my family. My testimony, the testimony that I've shared here, it's not because I want to embarrass you or what. I went through that. God used you to, he used my family for me to go through all that. And I'm testifying today because I've seen the hand of God. I still love you, all the churches that rejected me, the schools and all the people. I still love you so much. And I'm still praying for you. I love that.
Very touching, eh? Thank you so much for coming through. Keep
you.
representing God, and we should invite you very, very soon again.
Thank you so much.
All right. So, very nice summary there from Martha. And obviously, if you're going through rejection, know today that God indeed loves you. This is where we have to say our goodbyes from Martha. Antonio, the Yellow Dove, is who I be, aka the Prince of Kabwata. Yeah, so she should be, I'm declaring her the Princess of Kabwe, okay?
Thank you.
All right, so it's goodbye, and always remember that Gospel Cruise, Eyabako.
On your favorite TV station, straight from God's diversion. This is real and not a fiction. But the good news all over the nation.